You probably heard of a saying, the grass is only greener where you water it. But before the grass can grow, you need to implant something there. There has to be something that can be grown, and upon further watering, it will grow. And if you fertilize it, it will grow better. In this video, I want to talk about creation, to create something. It could be to create your dream reality into your life. Could be a project, could be a business idea, could be a side hustle, could be an extra 5 grand or 10 grand a month. To create any one or even all of these things, we need to come back to that principle of watering, of seeding. And what is watering and seeding? These two things, they are actions, they are efforts. If we were talking about vegetables and your life depended upon selling these vegetables, you obviously then want these vegetables to grow as fast and as well as they can. Of course, we know everything has a gestation period. When human life is conceived in the mom's womb, there's a gestation period of 9 months before the embryo becomes a fetus and a child that's ready to be born. Everything needs time to bear fruit. What made the embryo happen? There's fertilization. But before that, the parents of this soon-to-be child, there was energy being transmuted. Not being too explicit on this channel, but you get the point. So we can all agree that for anything to be created, effort, some people would agree to having this effort to be expressed as to put in your heart and soul into something. Think about the first time when Roger Bannister ran the 4-minute mile. Until the time that he did it, everyone thought, you can't do that. But he believed that he could. And years on, there were people who believed that they could better various records in this world. When Usain Bolt crashed the 9.6 second barrier in the 100 meters, no one thought that was possible, but he did. However, to accomplish such a feat, it's not something that you can, I wish, therefore I am. But of course, I wish, I see, I know the possibility. But in between this possibility, there's still a gestation period. There's a period of time that I will need to concentrate my efforts. And let's say, just like a plant needs fertilizer, the proper moisture, the sunlight, and etc. For us, it's the same thing. To accomplish a feat such as to run a sub 9.600 meter, to run a 4-minute mile. Nowadays, people are running either 3 minutes and 20 for the 1500 meter race. To be able to get to the level that you can do that, obviously you got to train well, think well, eat well, rest well, and you cannot simply just do with one of these factors. I have a video on my channel that's getting viewership of late. It's about how I grew taller at the age of 41. How did I grow 1 inch in height throughout the years of 40 to 41? How did I do that? There were many things that I did, and in that video, I expressed all of the various processes that I did. Someone wrote in the comments, can I simply eat moringa powder and do stretching to get a height gain? I was like, well, you can gain some height from stretching for sure. And if you are minerally deficient, you can definitely supplement, and therefore the supplements will help you grow if you were not growing enough due to the deficiency. But if you wanted to grow as much as you can, and the person asking the question was 5'3", he would like to get to 5'4". But at the same time, he was asking, could I just put in these efforts alone? Well, it's your life. Be my guest, right? If you want to grow taller that badly, wouldn't you want to do everything that is possible? And here's the thing in manifestation. Actually, I wanted to share this at a later time in a later video. When I've achieved that outcome, I would also like to tell people, it was because I put my heart and soul into this idea. I put everything on the line for as long as it required. Not a day, not a week, not a month, not a year, but as long as it required. If it would take me another year, another 4 years, I would still do it. But thank God that after 4 hard years, when everyone stopped believing me, when everyone thought I was nuts, when my mom was like, why don't you just sell off everything in Thailand and come back home and pick up a regular job, freelance or something, and you could still do these things on the side? No, but it's because I put everything on the line. I never stopped believing because I knew that after all these years, after all these hardships, After all these efforts that I put in, it would definitely come to something. All these leveling up would not be for nothing. All these knowledge gain would come to use. And as I have come along, I realized that I am perfectly here because everything that I've gained, everything I've done through the years has culminated in this. I see myself sharing with you how I manifested like something super mega awesome. And in that video, I will definitely be saying the same thing which I'm saying now, because I have seen the truth of committed effort, thinking, behavior, rest. When you put your heart and soul into an outcome that does not exist, all these energies would contribute to something gaining a form of existence, an identity, maybe even a mind of its own. When you look at the technologies that exist in this world today, the great technologies, the things that you never thought would have been created in this lifetime, that was definitely because someone refused to call it quits. And it's kind of like if you're trying to find your way to an oasis in the midst of a forest, you had no compass and you had to just go by instincts. If a certain path did not feel right, you would have to find something that felt better and better and better and better. And as long as we continue that journey, or let's say even if we continue walking a certain path, there would be an outcome, because no darkness lasts forever. No obstacle goes on forever. No barrier can block you forever. If you want to create your dream lifestyle, you want to create your dream living conditions, you want to have your dream car, your dream job, maybe even a spouse and a family, do not give up until you have achieved it. Because not giving up, keeping your focus on the goal, on the outcome, focus on the prize, like what people say, eyes on the prize. As long as the eyes is on the prize, that will keep you going, and that will be your continued inspiration as you continue to strive for it. Just as how I got fitter over a period of time, how I started to jump higher and higher and higher. Even this year, it was like a month and a half ago, for the first time in my life, I was able to jump up 5 steps on a staircase. Because I saw this guy on Instagram, Hironori Nakajima. He was jumping 7 steps at a time, and he could jump like 4 or 5 steps with a single leg. I was like, well, if someone can do it, that must be possible. He's around my age, and therefore I believe that I can do it too. Along the way, you will see yourself leveling up and leveling up and leveling up, and becoming more and more deserving, more and more capable, more and more the level required to unlock this outcome, this prize that you want. This ties back to the concept of frequency. You know, frequency on the radio, different FM stations. If you're not tuned in on the correct radio frequency, of course, you're not going to find the radio station that plays the kind of music that you want. So keep tuning. Keep tuning yourself to the outcome that you want. Because if your outcome is at a frequency, you just need to tune yourself to that frequency and things start to happen. And now I want to talk about how a creator keeps creating. Your prize is not the finish line. Your dream outcome now is not your eventual life goal. It's your immediate dream, not your final destiny. You are made for so much more than that. But once you get to that spot, when you know that I could create this, and you realize that I am a creator, the creation is in me, or even like some of you would say in manifestation terms, creation is finished. We just need to receive it, but we need to be the person worthy of receiving it. And for example, like even grass, right? I was talking about grass in the beginning of this video. In the right conditions, grass will grow perfect. Vegetables will grow fast and nutritiously and to a large healthy size in the right conditions. When you create it, you will create again, because the fact that you have created, you are now experienced in creation, and you wouldn't have known that putting in your various efforts, your commitment, your soul, your energies into this idea gave it existence. Therefore, and so you shall do it again. The more you create, the easier it becomes to create. The more you give life to ideas, the more ideas you will give life to. So what will you create? What will you give life to? Let me know in the comments down below. And for another great video, watch this one over here.